The door creaked open, sending a chill down my spine. I knew that stepping in would change everything. There he was, Liam, exposed and vulnerable. I should have walked away, but the temptation to stay was overwhelming. What happens when the line between right and wrong blurs? The clock struck midnight, its chime echoing ominously through the stillness of the house. I stood alone in the dim light, folding laundry with an unsettling urgency, racing against the creeping shadows that threatened to envelop me before I could finally retreat to the safety of my bed. My husband Mark had disappeared into the darkness of our bedroom hours ago, leaving the house draped in an eerie stillness, broken only by the soft, unyielding hum of the washing machine, a sound that felt almost sinister in the silence surrounding me. In the dim hallway light, I found myself drawn to the ritual of folding each garment with careful precision. One by one, I arranged them into neat stacks, a silent offering left outside their doors, each pile a whispered secret, waiting to be discovered. In the shadows of uncertainty, I clung to this small ritual, a flickering flame of control amidst the chaos that threatened to overtake me. Each day, as the world spun into disarray, this simple act became my anchor, a defiant stand against the unpredictable tempest of life. That night, a profound fatigue washed over me, heavier than ever before, as if the very shadows conspired to drain my spirit. With a heavy heart and weary eyes, I forced the door open, believing it would lead me to the sanctuary of the guest room. In my arms, a precarious tower of freshly laundered t-shirts teetered, each one a silent witness to the growing mystery waiting just beyond. Yet the room was anything but the guest room. In the dim evening light, Aiden stood there, my stepson, only 18, tall and strikingly handsome in an awkward way, caught in the turbulent tides of his transition into adulthood. The air was thick with tension, as if the very fabric of his future hung in the balance, waiting for the next move to be made. There he lay, sprawled on the bed, utterly exposed, his hands gliding slowly, almost with hesitation, across his own skin. I stood frozen, my breath caught in my throat, unable to move or comprehend the scene before me. He remained unaware of my presence. His focus was sharp, his expression a tempest of frustration and confusion, as if the weight of the world pressed down on him in that very moment. "Why does it still curve like this?" he whispered, a tremor of uncertainty in his voice. The moment hung heavy in the air, a whisper of regret clawing at my conscience. I should have turned around, shut the door behind me with finality, and walked away into the unknown. But fate had other plans, and the shadows loomed closer, beckoning me to stay just a little longer. Yet, an invisible force gripped me, a volatile mixture of shame, curiosity, and a haunting ache that surged within me, long buried and forgotten, now clawing its way to the surface. I retreated into the shadows, my heart racing, straining to catch a glimpse without revealing my presence. His body was a masterpiece, sculpted to perfection, yet the shadows of doubt clung to him like a shroud, exposing his vulnerability to the world. He spoke of discomfort with his appearance, and I could feel the internal struggle he was experiencing in that moment. The curve he despised loomed before me, a grotesque anomaly that twisted and contorted in a way that sent shivers down my spine. It was thick and powerful, yet its strange angle elicited a grimace from him, as if it carried with it a dark secret just waiting to be uncovered. In an instant, a deep groan escaped his lips as he violently tossed his head back against the pillow, a silent battle raging inside him. "This is why girls laugh," he murmured, his voice laced with an unsettling tension. And then, in that fleeting moment, his gaze locked onto mine. His eyes widened in sheer terror as he desperately reached for a pillow, trying to shield himself, his face flushed with shame. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were—" "I thought this was the guest room," I stammered, clutching the shirts with trembling hands, uncertainty gnawing at me. We stood there, breathless, the silence thick and suffocating, wrapping around us like a shroud. And then, a profound shift ignited within me. As I crossed the threshold, the door creaked ominously behind me, sealing me within the shadows of the room. There's no reason for you to feel shame, I whispered, my voice barely breaking the heavy silence. I am a woman too, Liam. His gaze was a tempest of confusion, eyes frantically searching mine as if seeking answers from the depths of a storm. I lowered myself onto the bed next to him, my heart racing with an intensity that felt almost palpable. You claimed the curve haunts you. He nodded, a subtle yet powerful gesture that seemed to echo in the stillness of the room, as if the very air held its breath, waiting for what would come next. The girls whisper among themselves, their eyes darting with curiosity and confusion. My heart raced as I hesitated, the air thick with tension. Slowly, I reached out, my hand trembling as it found its way to his thigh, a silent invitation hanging in the balance. Perhaps I can help you see things in a new way, help you find peace with yourself. His breath caught in his throat, eyes widening in a mix of fear and anticipation. With a trembling hand, he descended the pillow, the weight of the moment hanging heavy in the air. I reached out to him, my touch delicate yet fraught with tension, as my fingers quivered with an unspoken urgency. A flicker of warmth enveloped me, a haunting vulnerability that gripped my heart, and an inexplicable pull that drew me deeper into the unknown. It's not ugly, I breathed, the words hanging in the air like a fragile thread, poised to unravel the very fabric of the moment. It's breathtaking. His gaze pierced through me, a mixture of disbelief and revelation, as if I were the very first soul to unveil such a truth to him. In that moment, the air thickened, charged with an unspoken tension that sent shivers down the spine. The air crackled with tension. It had transcended the realm of mere assistance. It was a matter that delved into the shadows, a secret that dared to defy the boundaries of the known. That night, we stood at the precipice, the air thick with unspoken words, yet we dared not venture further. But in that charged silence, everything had irrevocably changed. I swore to myself that I would never set foot in that room again. Yet, each time I shut my eyes, Aiden haunted me, his anxious gaze piercing through the darkness, a tumultuous blend of confusion and yearning swirling in his eyes, leaving me breathless with anticipation. The nights stretched on, heavy with an unbearable weight. Mark lay in a tranquil slumber, blissfully ignorant of the turmoil that churned within me, for my heart had slipped away from our shared sanctuary, lurking in the shadows down the hall. As the sun cast long shadows across the table, Liam's voice broke the heavy silence of the morning, low yet unwavering, as he dared to recount the haunting events of that fateful night. It was a night shrouded in mystery, a moment suspended in time that still lingers in the shadows of my mind. You need not utter a word, I murmured, yet my thoughts spiraled into chaos. He sighed, a heavy burden of self-consciousness etched in his gaze, as if the very air around him crackled with unspoken tension. From the very beginning, an unsettling awareness gnawed at me, whispering that I was an outsider, trapped in a body that felt like a cruel punchline. My heart throbbed with an unbearable pain. Here stood a young man, exuding strength and capability, yet beneath that facade lay a delicate fragility, waiting to be uncovered. Liam, I whispered, my voice trembling with urgency, there's nothing wrong with you. The weight of my words hung in the air, thick with unspoken fears and unyielding truths. His gaze locked onto mine, a fragile spark of hope dancing in the depths of his eyes. You promised you would help me. Time stood still as I became a statue, paralyzed by the weight of the moment. Perhaps we should let it all slip away into the shadows. It feels profoundly wrong. He nodded, yet a shadow of sorrow clung to him, heavy and unyielding. As darkness enveloped the city, Mark stumbled through the door, soaked to the bone and weary, as the ominous clouds loomed overhead, casting shadows of uncertainty in his wake. As I emerged from Liam's room, the fabric of my robe hung precariously, a silent witness to the secrets that lingered in the air. Time came to a haunting standstill. I was merely checking on him, I stammered, my heart racing as shadows danced around us. Mark's gaze pierced through the silence, a storm brewing in his eyes, yet his lips remained sealed, leaving an unsettling tension hanging in the air. A wave of relief surged through me, a fleeting moment that felt like a fragile breath in the midst of a storm. Or perhaps it was the haunting grip of denial, lurking in the shadows, waiting to ensnare the unsuspecting. That night, I lay awake, my heart racing, each beat echoing in the silence, a relentless reminder of the shadows lurking just beyond the edge of my consciousness. What if he discovered the truth lurking in the shadows? What if all that I desperately concealed began to unravel before my very eyes? Liam's words pierced through the silence like a chilling wind, his texts hinting at an impending end. "Maybe we should stop," he suggested, but my heart clung desperately to hope, unprepared for the darkness that loomed ahead. We danced on the edge of danger, whispered kisses cloaked in shadows, stolen moments that ignited the night, but the suffocating weight of guilt loomed ever closer, relentless specter, haunting our every breath. That fateful night, when the door stood ajar, Mark was mere moments away from uncovering our secret. The shadows whispered of our betrayal, and the weight of our secret hung heavy in the air, threatening to unravel everything we held dear. That morning, an unsettling chill enveloped the house, creeping into every corner, whispering secrets of something amiss. Mark's eyes burned with unspoken questions, a tempest of uncertainty swirling within them, begging for answers that hung tantalizingly just out of reach. Aiden sat in silence, the shadows beneath his eyes deepening, hinting at untold stories and secrets that lingered just out of reach. In that moment, a chilling realization gripped me. The world as I knew it was irrevocably altered, and there was no turning back. Some desires demand a toll that can shatter the very fabric of one's soul. If you've been captivated by this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more thrilling tales. Stay tuned for the next chapter. There's so much more to uncover.